Welcome to Coffee Combos.
Wow. Like I was not
prepared
for that. No, I wasn't.
I mean, I just thought that I would put some emphasis on this morning since we had such a shit show of a weekend, you know? And you're not feeling well, so I thought maybe it would make you feel better.
I know. Well, thanks. That actually did make me feel a little bit better. I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to take some voice lessons so in 2020 I can truly sing it with all the vibrato.
Oh my gosh. Well, I can't wait for 2020 to see what kind of voice it brings for you. And more ways than just like a good singing voice, but just like a new voice. And yeah. So how's your morning been?
My morning's been okay. We had a little bit of a slow start since I don't have the other boys this week and I only have Lux. I did get him to school a little bit later than usual just because I didn't have like the time crunch to get the older boys to school first. So it's been kind of nice. And then I knew that you were going to the doctor. So I was like, let me just take my time. I did stop at Starbucks. So we've been back together on and off for a little while now. And yeah, I was just waiting to see what the doctor said about how you're feeling, basically.
I think that I have a sinus infection, but I'm not really sure. But this morning, whenever I woke up, I felt like my head was going to blow off of my shoulders. And I was like, oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
This doesn't seem good. So maybe I should get this checked out. And then I also have a sore throat. And Will went to the doctor last week for a sore throat. He said he woke up at 3:00 in the morning and he couldn't swallow. So he didn't know like what was going on and his throat felt like raw. So he went to the doctor, had a strep test because he was like, this must be strep throat. But I think a lot of people get confused that you can have strep throat and like not even have a sore throat.
Right. And you can also have strep throat and not have it show up on the strep test because there's viral strep and there's bacterial strep. And that one only tests for,
oh, wow.
I'm sure a doctor will. Yeah. So the strep test will only test for, I believe, bacterial strep and not viral strep.
Oh, God. So I didn't kiss Will for like 6 days, but then I did kiss him last night when I got home. So I'm like, okay, did he give me some type of like fungus or something? But no,
fungus,
I don't know. Like, I don't know what it even is. I'm just like, what the hell? And then I did strip my bed this morning. So that was a good feeling. I love the feeling of clean sheets. Like, who's with me?
Oh, I have to do that today for sure.
Do you strip your bed like weekly?
Yeah, I do it once a week, me, the boys, and the guest room. Although when I stripped the guest room a couple weeks ago, I washed the sheets and I never put them back on. So it's like I almost feel like I need to like rewash them even though nobody slept in them and they weren't even on the bed.
Oh my God, just because they've been like laying there like unfolded or like not on the bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I sometimes do that with laundry. You feel me? Like I will get some laundry out and then if I don't fold it right away, I'm like, oh shit, I just need to start over. Like I need to put these back in the wash machine. Or have you ever washed something and been like, oh, I let it sit in the washing machine like a couple hours too long, so I just need to like start the whole thing over?
Oh, I've left them in the dryer for a couple days. In the washer a couple days too long.
No, Kale, that's not a thing. I didn't say a couple of days. I said a couple hours.
Oh, no, baby girl. I have left them in the washer for several days.
Oh my gosh. Remember that one time that you came to Atlanta and you got your leggings out of your bag and you were like, oh, I can't wear these. These have to go directly in the trash.
Oh, they did. I mean, they definitely did. But currently, like as we speak right now, there is a load in the dryer that's been in there for about 4 days.
Oh, wow. Do you just keep like turning the dryer on? Like, I'm really going to be productive and I'm going to do something about this. And then you let the dryer go off and then you don't do anything?
Correct. Yes, 100%. And like, so since I have Karma, my puppy, she's only like 15 or 16 weeks. So I keep like a nice little cute blanket in her crate. But because she's potty training, sometimes she still will have an accident or two in there. And so I have 3 pink blankets that I rotate, right? Like I wash them as soon as one goes in the wash, then I put a new one in there, and then that one's washing, la-di-da-di-da. So, like, I always have to have the washer free. Right. But, like, sometimes I can let the blankets air dry, but then because I always have a load of clothes still sitting in the dryer.
Kale.
I know I'm working on it. I literally only have, right now I have some like towels and blankets in the washer right now. And then I have like a load of clothes in the dryer. And then I have one load of clothes unfolded in a laundry basket. But I'm going to get to it.
I think before you strip your sheets, you should take care of like those other chores first.
Okay.
And then strip your sheets. Or maybe you should strip your sheets because then it might encourage you to like have to do the other stuff so that you can finish your sheets.
Absolutely. You're right. I should, that's what my goal is for the week.
Oh gosh, for the week. Well, that's, I was thinking like you were going to be like, that's my goal for the day.
I mean, it would be, but by the time we're done podcasting and I upload everything to my computer, I'll have to go get Lux, and then I have to go to Staples to print a bunch of stuff for my meeting with my attorney tomorrow. And then tomorrow I have the meeting with my attorney and a therapy appointment. And then Wednesday I have court. I only have like Thursday and Friday are free. Like when I tell you that my schedule this week is booked with appointments, you guys don't forget that I have a 35-minute drive to go get Lux and then bring him home. So it's like that's that right such a pain. Right. So it's like,
I will tell you, I used to drive like 30 minutes to take Jackson to preschool. And once he started going to school, like really close to the house, once he started kindergarten, it's such a time saver because you don't think about how much time you actually spend in the car, like coming and going. Because if I'm spending 30 minutes to drive there, that means I drive 30 minutes back home, which means then I drive 30 minutes back and 30 minutes back. So that's really 2 hours out of your day that you're spending to do that. So
yeah, I've talked to Leah about that because obviously she lives in West Virginia and you have to drive an hour wherever you go. And I mean, that she's literally in the car for like hours and hours a day because she's got to drive here and there and everywhere. And everything in West Virginia is so the fuck far apart. So I guess I never really understood when she would say like, oh, I'll text you in a couple hours when I'm home. I would be like, what are you talking about? But now I get it. I had a call this morning. I'm actually getting an office in Dover where my kids go to school because, that way I can just have my podcast equipment there and I'm not driving home 30 minutes to podcast to then drive 30 minutes to go. Like when I have to come home to podcast, it's actually it's taking more time out of the day. Does that make sense? So if I'm already in Dover, drop the kids off at school, I can just work from my office and like I can bring my dog to my office and stuff like that. So I actually found a space that I'm going to, get, and then I have my realtor has a stager. So my thought was to make the space super Instagrammable, and then maybe people will want to do like their lifestyle photo shoots there, or like you can come and we can podcast in person sometime, or V works and does photo shoots for certain people. Like if she ever wanted to use it, like that's like what I'm wanting to do right now.
I actually love that idea. That's a really good idea. And you know what? Another thing I thought of is a lot of people just don't do good working out of their house. And I feel like you're one of those people that you need that separation of space. And I think that's going to be really good for you because I think it's like healthy because you're not working at home. So like when you go home, you can be home.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's nice too because I do have the office at home. So it's functional and it's useful when I need it. But just to like be able to just get out of the house and work in a space that is like I can have my pothead stuff there and I can have my podcast equipment there. And I can also, that's another location I can film at. It's like, those are all things that to, take into consideration. And I think that if I could make it so that other people would be able to use the space too. I mean, obviously people I know and like photographers, but like not like random people. But I think that would be cool. I think that would be great. So my realtor's on it right now, and I'm hoping that I hope I get the space that I sent him this morning.
Well, you'll have to let me know and keep us all updated on that space because as soon as it gets up and functional and everything, I promise I will come to Dover and I will come to it.
Perfect.
Sold.
Okay, Lindsay, so I have to tell you about this new deodorant that I'm obsessed with and my kids are using. It's filled with ingredients found in nature like coconut oil, shea butter, and tapioca starch.
I know. I've been using it too. It's formulated without aluminum, parabens, and talc. They also don't test on animals, which is super important to me, and I'm sure it's super important to a lot of our listeners.
Yeah, it's a really great product. And just because it's aluminum free doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice on product performance. They also have a wide variety of enticing scents for men and women. And they also have an unscented formula and baking soda free formula for those with sensitivities.
I typically use the coconut and vanilla scent. It's literally my favorite. And I'm going to order some for Will too.
I'm obsessed with the eucalyptus and mint scent, and I use it every day, so I don't smell, which we've talked about, my sweat problem. I love it.
They also offer free returns and exchanges in the U.S.
So check out all the amazing scents or scent-free deodorants today.
For 20% off your first purchase, visit nativedeodorant.com and use promo code COFFEE at checkout.
That's NATIVE deodorant.com with promo code COFFEE for 20% off. On another note,
what is the other note?
Don't. What is the other note? Let's talk about this weekend.
Don't like start giving me bad anxiety, because I had bad anxiety all weekend and I got a zit.
And you blamed me for it, or?
Yeah, like you're to blame for my zit.
Oh, I mean, okay, I'll take the blame for that.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
Last podcast, we had ended on a positive note that, we were going to New York City and Kale was going to do the reunion and I was coming in town and we were going to podcast, and we had teamed up with Teen Mom 2 and we were going to do the domestic violence episode and just have like a really nice weekend filled with Italian food and just like amazing time.
Right.
I wish I had like a broken record sound right now, because actually none of that happened. And
literally none of it. Like not even one of those things happened. And I didn't even get to eat spaghetti.
I did, because I was determined. I was like, no way. Like I'm having Italian, like authentic cuisine, or I'm going to blow this place up.
Yep.
Yeah. So why don't you just go ahead and start spilling the beans?
Okay. So there's a lot of things that I want to touch on here. One of them being that I have said in the past that this is a job, right? Like being on Teen Mom and the production side of it is a job. However, that does not necessarily mean that we are employees where we are expected to go into a workplace and act a certain way or be professional, and these are the expectations. This is a different type of job. And so you never, like, I don't know how to describe it. You get paid to be yourself, but also to show up and do these professional things, but they're intrusive on your personal life. And so there's lines blurred and there's not really an expectation for how someone is supposed to act, right? Because they purposely put you in these situations where you're not going to act like a professional employee. Okay. So let me just preface it with that. In the past, I have gotten into arguments with cast members, and specifically Brianna. Do I want to be around her? No, I don't. Do I regret how I acted on TV? Yes, I do, because my kids can see that one day. It's not who I really am. I felt like, I don't know.
Let me interject before you go any further, because I feel like there is no beef with Brianna. So let's just like clear the air. Like it's in the past.
Oh, this is not about Brianna. Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the past and whatever. Like everybody's an adult. And I think everybody had some accountability in that situation and has acknowledged the accountability and just moved forward from it. So this is not about that.
No, it's not. But I'm saying all of that to say, over the last year, I've truly reflected on a lot of the things that I've done. And so moving forward, I don't want to be involved in those things. And I took it a step further by not only agreeing to do the reunion, but to also bring my kids, because I knew that Brianna and I wouldn't be in the same place. This was not going to be, crazy. And I wouldn't be put in a situation where, my safety, my kids' safety would be compromised. So now we fast forward to, remember the expectation thing, right? Well, okay, well, people are saying on Twitter to me, well, why don't you guys just act like adults? Like you're supposed to be, acting professionally and la-di-da. Okay, well, if that's the case, if that is the standard, then I expect the same from the production team and MTV itself, right? So giving me a schedule that I'm begging for at 10:30 p.m. for the next day is probably not the expectation that one would expect from their employer. So I'm on my way to New York on Friday night, and 10:30 at night, I'm asking producers, can I please have my schedule for tomorrow? Can I please have my schedule for tomorrow? Nobody wants to give it to me. Why? Because either A, they don't want me to know and they want to blindside me, or B, they know and they want to keep me basically they want to surprise me. Finally, I get the schedule at like 10:30, and it's like 7 bullets, right? It's like me, Leah, and Chelsea, and then it's me and Leah, and then it's my solo segment, and then it's a break, and then it's me and the young and pregnant cast, and then it's me and Victoria and Leah. It was mentioned to me prior that I was going to do a segment with the young and pregnant cast, and from what had happened to me about 3 weeks ago, which I briefly mentioned on the podcast that we would talk about, which we'll get into, I basically texted back and was like, I really don't know how comfortable I am with this because I don't really want to be around people at this time. Like, it's just like a lot for me, and I've been having really weird anxiety. And I just don't know them, and I don't really know why they would want me to have just a segment with the girls. Like, it wasn't like the Teen Mom 2 cast versus the Young and Pregnant cast, and we're doing Jeopardy, right? Like, it was like Kale and the Young and Pregnant cast. Like, why me? So one of the producers was like, oh, just keep it on the schedule, and if we get there and you change your mind, then don't do it. And I was like, okay. So fast forward to the day. I get everything done up until this point, and now they have me with Jade on stage with the entire Young and Pregnant cast. And I'm like, okay, why are we here? Because I don't get it. There's 7 of us on here. I have to physically like move my entire body to look down the freaking couch at Nessa and Drew. And I'm just kind of like, I literally even joked with the audience. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm here to mediate some shit. Like, what am I here for? And I knew that Jade and Ashley had beef. And Lindsay, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you've seen it on social media.
Yeah, I saw it on social media before I went to New York. So I just saw that, but I didn't really know what was going on. I just knew from, like, let's back up. We had done a podcast episode with Ashley when we were in LA, and then we introduced Jade as the newest member of the Teen Mom 2 cast at last year's reunion. So,
right.
Our last season. So I knew that there was like some weirdness because I think that they were both kind of under the impression that they were possibly going to be the newest member. And then I saw Ashley posting on her Instagram story that people were like leaving her out and so on and so forth. So I just kind of put like 2 and 2 together, but I didn't know that it was like as big of an issue really as what it was.
Right. And neither did I. I mean, I knew Jade had her feelings and she wasn't saying much. And I hadn't really checked Ashley's social media, but I knew that she had feelings. I don't know if she spoke on them. I personally love Ashley, and I don't really know Jade that well, but we did introduce her through the podcast. So I don't have any issues with Jade at all. Okay. So Lindsay, I just wore my Rothy shopping yesterday, and I literally walked over 10,000 steps, and they're so comfortable.
I know. They're even made out of plastic recycled water bottles. I know that we've talked about it before. They're so comfortable, and they're also machine washable.
I'm so used to wearing flats or sneakers for like an hour and then cutting the back of my feet, and Rothy's, I don't have that problem. So they don't cut me. They're stylish. They're sustainable. They're comfortable and washable, which is huge for me. You know, being a mom, our shoes always get dirty running around and chasing the kids. So they're really an all-in-one pair of shoes. They're literally amazing.
Yes, they're the perfect flats for us because we're always on the go.
Rothy's are manufactured in a zero-waste factory, and they ship directly in the shoebox. No unnecessary packaging. These are feel-good flats in more ways than one.
They have different styles and tons of colors. Plus, Rothy's always come with free shipping and free returns and exchanges. No risk, no worries, no reason not to try it.
Check out all the amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/coffee.
That's rothys.com/coffee to get your new favorite flats. Comfort, style, and sustainability. These are the shoes that you've been waiting for.
Head to rothys.com/coffee today and let us know your thoughts on our latest Instagram post. So they're having me on stage, and their explanation for me being there was so that I could, because I introduced Jade to the Teen Mom 2 cast, and then Jade came from the Young and Pregnant cast. That's why Jade and I were on stage, and they were going to have the Young and Pregnant girls on our Teen Mom 2 reunion, which that's a completely unrelated whatever. So anyway, I'm making jokes. I'm literally sitting there on the couch, like on my phone during breaks, like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, what? And I said, okay, so here we go. This is where we get into it. Before the Young and Pregnant cast gets on stage, it's just me and Jade. We move to the next couch so that there's room for the other girls. And there's a circle of producers on set, and they're in a circle talking. And I go up to them and I'm like, hey, and I like raise my hand and I'm like, this isn't a good idea. I'm like, I understand that there's a ton of security and I understand that you guys think that you have it handled. I said, but this is not a good idea. I said, when Brianna and I got into our shit, Brianna swore she was good to get on stage. Bree and Brittany were perfectly fine to get on stage, and everyone thought it was fine. And then when she came out acting crazy, I literally didn't even know what was happening, and all of that happened. So I said, this isn't a good idea. So whether there's security or not, somebody's going to act up. So the first half of the segment, it was cool. I would say I could feel the tension, but it wasn't crazy. So I was like, all right, maybe we're going to get through this and it'll be fine. So then Dr. Drew asks a question to Ashley basically about how does she feel about Jade being moved to Teen Mom 2, and that's where all hell breaks loose. So Ashley tried to just end it at, she has her own feelings about it and that's where she's going to leave it. But I don't know if someone whispered in Drew's ear. I don't know if he just came up with the question on his own. I don't really know. He pushed for more than that. And so she says, let's cut the fucking shit. And I mean, I'm pretty sure those were her words. And she comes at Jade. Jade stands up. Jade and Ashley are going back and forth. Pussy this, you're a pussy, fuck you. I don't really know what was said. They're cursing back at each other. I'm standing in front of Jade at this point, and I'm like, walk off this stage. This is not worth it. Do not do this because I told you this isn't worth it. She walks off stage. Cool. That's diffused. Then Ashley is directly next to Kayla from Young and Pregnant. I don't know Kayla. I've never met her in person. We follow each other on social media. Cool. I'm like, so Ashley addresses Kayla. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know what their relationship is. So I look at her and I'm like, switch spots with me so that I'm next to Ashley. Me and Ashley are cool. Like, Kayla sit on the other end. I don't know where it's going to go. She switched spots with me, and Ashley's still going. I don't know what's being said. At this point, I'm not listening. Security's all up on the stage, and I look at Kayla, who's now on my right, and I'm like, maybe you should walk off. And she's like, should I? And I like nod at her to say yes. At this point, Nessa is on my left, a couple people down, and she looks at me and she says, Kale, sit back. So now you've just pissed me off. Now I'm pissed off because y'all brought me out here on this fucking reunion to basically mediate the situation because you guys knew that this shit was going to pop off. You guys knew that you were putting girls on stage that didn't fucking like each other. You knew what you were doing. And so I took that as, okay, one, I'm embarrassed because you're telling me what to do. And two, I took it as Nessa is telling me to sit back so that MTV could continue to film it. Where I'm trying to diffuse the situation because these girls are going to regret acting like this later on. So I'm like, get off the stage and don't film. That's my take on it. I've been there. I've done that. You know what I'm saying, Lindsay? Like, yeah. I'm now pissed off because I feel like everyone knew this was going to happen and there was no reason for Jade to be on stage. There was no reason for Jade and Ashley to be on stage. There wasn't, period. There wasn't.
As I said this weekend, anybody who is on the inside of Teen Mom dealings knows that Jade and Ashley don't like get along. So
nope.
To press Ashley to answer the question is basically antagonizing her, instigating yes. To get her to have a reaction. And yep. I think at the point that Jade was moved from Young and Pregnant, she should have never been on the stage with Young and Pregnant cast again, because everybody knows that is involved with Teen Mom that girls get very competitive about these up and coming spots of replacements, and everybody wants that spot if they're being honest. So then Jade already has a target on her back going into that because she was chosen.
Right.
So I think it was just probably in poor taste from the production side of it. I think that you should have never been involved in the first place. You've been doing this for 10 years. Why are you sitting on the stage with the new girls from another extension of the franchise? I didn't understand. And then you had such a great reunion segment, and even from my conversations with the producers, they said that it was the best segment that you have ever had in 10 years. So then that messes that
like,
whole
literally
vibe up.
Gave me the chills when you said that, because I truly feel that way. Like, I truly feel like it was my best segment in 10 years. And I feel like I was set up a little bit, and I feel like true disappointment, because even the next day when things calmed down, I left. I walked off the stage. I said, bye, Nessa. I said, fuck this. I'm out. Like, you guys really brought me into this for no fucking reason. Like, I'm trying to work on myself, and I want to show people that I'm working on myself. And I get all the lashback. Oh, well, quit the show then. Quit the show then. Quit the show then. Oh, act like adults. You guys need to do better. You guys need to handle yourselves better. But our employers are pressing and instigating these reactions, and then we can't control ourselves, and then we regret it, but then we want to do the show because we want to show people our struggles. And it's like, people don't understand that. And I was so frustrated to see the backlash that I got for sticking up for Ashley and Jade, because I was a little embarrassed by Nessa, but she did reach out. She texted me. She apologized, whatever. Okay, I get that, but I still feel like a huge disappointment in the people that I work for, right? Like, and I'm upset for Jade and for Ashley, because Ashley had just got done saying how the show helps her reflect on how she acts and she wants to do better. But then Dr. Drew's going to sit there and push her and instigate her to do certain things, like, or to act a certain way. And then Jade already has huge issues with anxiety. Like, why are you going to put her that? You're pinning girls against each other. And this is not Maury. This is not Jerry Springer. This show is supposed to be used for educational purposes. And if you're going to preach that you want to encourage people to use contraception, and you want to talk about the awareness of domestic violence, and you want to talk about all these things that are educational, don't then turn around and condone the behaviors, right? Like,
right.
I'm disappointed. And then it's like, oh, Janelle's in the city. And I'm like, oh, great. Well, I just walked off stage for defending Ashley and Jade, and now am I going to get fired and replaced with Janelle? Like what's going to happen?
All right, guys, I know that we've been talking about HempFusion on the podcast for the past couple of episodes, but if you're a new listener, HempFusion is a brand that I found that has CBD products that I'm a super fan of.
HempFusion makes high-quality CBD products that are made with ingredients that help you balance your body and keep you feeling good. They also help you with stress, sleep, and provide you with energy. Unlike other CBD brands who just offer CBD, HempFusion has omegas to help you feel 100%, and we highly recommend it.
If you're looking for a new CBD product that you won't regret, try HempFusion and use the code COFFEECOMBOS for 20% off your first order, plus free shipping at hempfusion.com. That's HempFusion.com for 20% off.
They ship anywhere in the U.S. for free. Just use promo code COFFEECOMBOS, that's one word, and also get 20% off.
So back on the other stuff before Janelle, I definitely agree with what you're saying. And even after the fact, even your executive producer agreed. So it's a very like sticky, weird thing. And I think that it's great that you stood up for yourself. You stood up for the right thing. And I think it's just sad because back to you talking about feeling like you have to defend yourself. I've been in that situation for the past couple of months, because when you do have an audience, you do feel like a need to want to prove yourself for whatever reason. And that's a sad thing. And I think that you just have to get to the point of, like I got last week, no longer going to discuss it because I don't have anything to prove. The truth will prove itself.
Go ahead. And it will. But I think you made a really good point that it was like, if MTV wanted to have the Young and Pregnant cast with the Teen Mom 2 girls, I think you made an awesome point. We used to play games on set on like the specials, Unseen Moments, like we used to do like funny shit. If they wanted to have them on stage with us, we should have had like a Jeopardy game, like Teen Mom 2 versus Young and Pregnant, or we should have had, you know, how well do you know the cast members, Young and Pregnant versus Teen Mom 2, like something along those lines, not something that was going to pin girls against each other, because the other thing that people need to take into consideration is that these girls are very young. Some of them are not my age, 27, 28 years old. Some of them are only 20. Some of them are only 19. So you have to take that into consideration too. So, and they haven't been on TV that long, so they don't realize that actually feeling the need to prove themselves is a factor in this. So, and then Chelsea made a good point that I was like, wow, Chelsea, thank you. Like when you, Chelsea, and I were all in the room after the fact with one of the executive producers, she was like, why do they always put Kale in this situation? It's never Leah. It's not that I would ever want that for them, but they never ask Chelsea to do it. They never ask Leah to do it. They always ask me to do it. Why? Because I have a history of acting out, reacting, whatever the case may be. Well, now that I'm trying to work on myself, it's almost like, you know, I kind of feel a little bit insulted and like disappointed. Like, aren't you guys rooting for me? Don't you guys want me to do better? Why are you putting me in these situations?
Right. And then on top of all of this stuff going down, the night before I come in to town, I'm texting Kale like final things like, you know, equipment, whatever, and about her schedule for Saturday. And then she's like, and it's very weird because Janelle's in town.
First of all, we had plans to go get spaghetti on Saturday night, and
none of that happened.
No, you literally were texting me like, okay, I have all the equipment. Do we need anything else? No, we're good. Okay, like you're on your way. We're going to go get dinner when I'm done with the night. I was supposed to be done by like 8 or 9. We'd go get pasta and like just talk about our plans for Sunday morning, which was the podcast. And I'm like, hey, by the way, Janelle's in town. And I only heard because someone came up to me and was like, hey, just want to warn you, Janelle's in town. And I don't personally care if she's in town. It was more David that I would care about. If he was in town, I would be highly worried. But
I feel like the stuff with Janelle is like water under the bridge at this point. Like if whatever, like it's whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I could have sat on stage with her, I think. I wouldn't, and it wouldn't ever be a thing. It's David that I was more like, please don't ever bring him within feet of me. You know what I mean?
Right. And then not only were you told that, then I was texted by somebody that told me that also, another individual. Then I also was told that she was having meetings. Then I also
I was told that too.
Told by another individual that they were bringing her back, and I don't want to start rumors or anything, but that they didn't know to what capacity. So like it might be a special, it might be a guest appearance, it might be a cast member.
I just heard.
So I don't know if that's true. If it's
I
not
don't know
true,
what's true or not. I know that I was told that she was there completely unrelated to Teen Mom 2, completely unrelated to Teen Mom. It was for something completely separate. However, that being said, she stayed at the same hotel as Jeremy, Leah's ex-husband, and they evidently have some person in common, like a manager or some type of agent. I don't know. And so I'm getting, mixed things. Okay, why do they have the same agent? But why is she here at the same time as us? And then I was told by somebody else that she was, in fact, at the Viacom building, and she was in a production room. I don't know where these rumors come from, why people make up certain things. We don't know what was true, what was false. But I wonder if they would bring her back. Even if it's not like a cast member, would they have her back for something? Like, I don't know, because would producers lie to us saying that she was not there for Viacom? Because we're going to find out if she was, if they air something.
Right. But we also
why
were
even
told
lie about it.
We also were told that Jade wasn't the new Teen Mom. We also were told that Mackenzie wasn't
that's a good point.
going to be on OG too.
That's a really good point.
Because remember, like when the whole Mackenzie thing went down, we were like, why didn't we announce that? And they were like, because we're just testing her out or whatever.
This is true. You're not lying.
So who really knows? But what I can say is I literally landed early and was like excited. I was like, this is going to be a great weekend. Like everything's cool. And then let Kale know that I'm on my way to the hotel and I get a text and she's like, I'm leaving.
Wait, let me stop right there. No. What I got on my phone was, hey, I'm 25 minutes away from you. Like you texted me saying you're 25 minutes away. And I texted back, I'm leaving. Like I think we texted each other at the same time.
Well, yeah, because it was like really quick. Like I got your message like immediately after I sent the message to you. So I was like, wait, like what? Like what's happening? I'm thinking we're making dinner plans.
Like I'm leaving the studio, we're going to get dinner. No, at this point, I was so heated that I literally was like, get me the fuck out of the studio. Like I'm not, and that's the biggest thing for me. It's like when I get the backlash, oh, you need to continue filming. This is your job. Yeah, I'm the first one to say this is my job and I'm going to act accordingly. But on the other hand, when I'm being put in fucked up situations, why am I here? I don't get paid. Like I get paid more to sit on my couch and film from home than I do to go be at the studio for 12 hours and get dragged into bullshit that doesn't belong to me. So Lindsay just flew in. She's 25 minutes from the fucking airport. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm leaving. I'm going home. It's a 2-hour drive for me. Lindsay, they didn't even want to give me a car home because they wanted to convince me to stay. But at this point, I was like, no.
I know. And I'm like, what is actually going on? Because I'm just trying at this point to like piece the pieces together. I literally had no idea what was going on. All right, Kale, I have to tell you something about my current online shopping obsession, but I always feel so magical because I never miss out on a discount thanks to Honey.
Oh my God, I love Honey. For those of you who don't know, it's a free browser extension that helps find coupon codes and different sales at places you're already shopping. And then it automatically applies the best deals to your cart at checkout.
Yes, just like that. Whether you're shopping on Amazon or Nordstrom or whatever, you literally won't need to stress about losing any deals anymore. Just shop as you normally would, and Honey handles the rest. I recently went to J.Crew's website and I bought a few items, and once I went to my cart, I saw a discount automatically applied from the Honey extension.
So I've been looking for new fall colored makeup, and I was shocked to see a Sephora collection set for $20 off, and that was all thanks to Honey.
Honey has saved its 10 million users over $1 billion. There are also 100,000 plus 5-star reviews on the Google Chrome store.
Time Magazine recently called Honey basically free money. It literally takes 2 clicks to install the app.
Listen, there's really no reason not to use Honey. It's free to use and installs quickly on your computer.
Shop with confidence. Go to honey.com/coffee to get Honey for free. Again, that's HONEY.com/coffee to get Honey for free.
Honey, the smart shopping assistant that saves you time and money when you're shopping online.
So what were you thinking? Like what, when I said I'm leaving, what exactly was going through your head?
What was going through my head was that I was thinking, okay, I woke up like really early that morning, took a shower. It was pouring down rain in Atlanta. And I got dressed, started packing my bags, everything. Jackson had a soccer game. I specifically made my flight so that I could go to Jackson's soccer game and get to New York. So I stood in the pouring rain, which is probably where I did get sick, to watch him play soccer. Got home. The car was waiting on me when I got home to go to the airport. I packed up all the equipment, everything. Took me an hour to pack all of that stuff. I ordered outfits, like everything. And then I'm 25 minutes from the hotel and Kale's like, I'm leaving. So I kind of was like in a state of shock because I've never had something like that happen to me before. So I was like, oh, wow. Like I have been traveling since like noon And then this was at like almost 6:00. And then I'm like, oh, wow. So call Kristen and say, hey, Kale's leaving. Like, can they get me a flight back home? At this point, I'm pulling up at the hotel and Chelsea's walking down the sidewalk with her kids and Cole. I'm sitting in the car. I'm trying to decide if I'm even going to get out of the car or if I'm just going to go back to the airport. I roll down the window and I'm like, Chelsea. And she's like, Lindsay, oh my God, you look so cute. And I'm like, no, I literally am barefaced. My hair is on top of my head. Like, I've been soaking wet at a soccer game. I've been on the airplane. I'm disgusting. And Chelsea's like in full face makeup, like looking cute. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? She's like, I don't know. I just heard like just a brief overview of kind of like what happened. Where's Kale? And I'm like, I don't even know if she's still at this hotel. Like, I have no idea what's going on. So I'm like, I'm trying to decide if I'm getting out of the car, if I'm going back to the hotel or going back to the airport. And she's like, should we go up to her room? But I'm kind of scared of Kale. And I'm like, why are you scared of Kale? And she's like, she might yell at us or something. And I'm like, I don't care if Kale fucking yells at me. Like, I'm busting in.
First of all, I have never yelled at Chelsea, okay? I've never yelled at her.
So we go up to your floor and see your producer standing out in the hallway. And I'm like, I'm going in. And Chelsea's like, wait, you are? And I'm like, yes, I'm going in. And she's like, are you scared of Kale? And I was like, no, Kale's scared of me. Like, no, like, what? So I just went in, and then like shortly after, Chelsea followed, and then it was like fine. We just like talked about everything that we talked about just here on the podcast. And then I think it was like fine, but I think it was good that you were like strong in your conviction. You actually left. You proved a point that you don't have to tolerate that kind of stuff, that you want a more professional environment. And I feel like the only way to encourage better behavior and to have higher expectation is to follow through with what you say you're going to do.
Well, and it did feel good to have Chelsea on my side. I felt like everyone understood where I was coming from. Like, it wasn't just about me. It wasn't just about Kale is entitled, Kale feels this, Kale feels that. It was more like, I'm speaking up for the cast. I'm speaking up for Jade. I'm speaking up for Ashley. I'm speaking up for myself. I'm speaking up for, I almost feel like I was speaking up for 11th Street, because I feel like the network, I don't know. And that's the thing. It's like, when you're in this industry, you learn who to trust and who not to trust. And at this point, I trusted my gut when I said to the producers on set, this is not a good idea. Despite how much fucking security you have, this is not good. And I was really just speaking up for everybody. I had been through this, and it felt good to have Chelsea see that and not like, oh, this is Kale's drama. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It felt good to feel like people understood this time where I was coming from and not making it about myself. And then it felt good to hear a producer hear me out and understand where I was coming from. And then I got a text from another producer saying that I was right, and she understands exactly why I feel this way. So that felt good. And then Nessa explaining where she was coming from. But I still think that there's a lot to be said about how we handle this. Like, we're already it takes a special type of person to be on reality TV as it is. And it takes a special type of person to produce it, because, you can't intervene in a lot of fucked up situations. And we are already recovering from a lot of fucked up shit. And it's like, we want to use this opportunity to do better and to reflect and to, let others know what we're doing and what we're going through to help other people. But like, it really just completely contradicts that when we're promoting stuff like this. And I have been through it. I've done it. I've done things I'm not proud of, and I don't want to do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to.
I just feel like you've moved past the BS, and I think that you're just like in a new season of life. And I think that you've been there, you've done it, and you're kind of moving on from that. And you just want to be able to educate people on the situations that you've been in and like how to avoid those situations, and not condoning those situations and being a participant in those situations. And I think that that is such a healthy foot forward. And I think that you're going in the right direction. And I think that people will see that over time, like as you get better and as you try to better yourself and you're moving in positive directions and not backwards. Those things are important.
That's
and there's
the thing.
A place for that story, you know, like you've been there, you've done it, like you can educate now. And I think that is the benefit of having the platform, is to be able to educate others on how to avoid those situations, or if they're in those situations, how to prevent themselves from getting deeper in those situations or for reoccurring patterns.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, I want to show the evolution. I don't want to quit the show. I want to show my growth and my progression, especially in this new phase of my life, because I do feel like things are truly just moving up for me and like, just like getting better. And I want to continue to show that. I want a Chelsea and Cole story. Like, I want to show the good stuff, but it's like, when I can't, and I'm trying to use my mistakes to help other girls on the show and the production and all of that stuff, but they're like condoning it and instigating it and setting it up. And it's like really going against what we're supposed to be doing. And so it's just like it's like a catch-22. And I'm tired. Like, it was infuriating to see the comments back. It was like, oh, then quit the show, then quit the show, then quit the show. Oh, act accordingly. Well, it's like, reality TV is a job. The production side of it is a job, but it's not the type of job, like I said in the beginning, in my preface of all of this, it's not what you think. So it's, I don't know. I shouldn't listen to them, but.
And I think too, that when you're in this type of job that involves it being a job for you, but also real life for you, there's no separation there. So then the lines get blurred. And so, you know, that's a sticky place to be, and you've got to find a healthy balance with that. And I'm not sure what the healthy balance is, although I will tell you, really funny, out of all of this, I received like 99 plus messages of people being like, hey, I mean, it was like variations of this, but this was like the general concept. Hey, I think what would be a really good idea would be if you and Kale and Leah and Chelsea did a show. And I'm like, oh, wow, what a novel idea, as if nobody thought of that before.
That's like, amazing. That would be perfect.
What a novel
whole concept
idea. Like, thanks for coming up with it. We also came up with it.
We've also pitched that. Like, yeah, definitely into it.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was funny. I was like, oh, wow. Like, thanks for stating the obvious.
All right, Lindsay. So we always talk about Bioclarity. It's a green and clean skincare brand that has products that just work. So for those of you who don't know and are new to our podcast, Bioclarity offers easy-to-use routines with good-for-you ingredients that will give you great skin.
Yes. Lately, I've been noticing a huge change in my skin. With the weather changing, I always go through like a weird skin change. And Bioclarity has made my skin feel so soft and glowy and has evened out my skin texture.
So I use the Essentials routine now. It's great for my normal skin. I used to use the clear skin routine because I was having problematic areas, but it's a 3-step regimen that is packed full of detoxifying and calming nutrients, antioxidants, and a super special ingredient, Floralux, which is made from the chlorophyll in plants.
It comes with everything that you need to nurture, hydrate, and restore your skin.
So it also helps with redness, hyperpigmentation, and evens out your skin tone and texture for a healthy glow.
Get healthier, more radiant skin by going to bioclarity.com.
And right now, our listeners get 15% off of everything on their website. It's such a great deal.
It really is. All you need to do is enter coffee at checkout. Again, that's bioclarity.com for 15% off when you use coffee at checkout. But yeah, I think people want to see like the good as much as they want to see the bad. And I think like you evolve as you grow, and like you're going to have different struggles at different life phases. That's just life, but there's a graceful way to tell it. And there's a graceful way to help. And there's a graceful way of doing everything. And I think that you just go into situations handling yourself with grace, being graceful to yourself, being graceful to others. And it doesn't have to be Jerry Springer. And I think that's the whole.
Well, just to your point too, it's like if they really wanted to do a Teen Mom 2 Young and Pregnant crossover, and they really wanted to be educational, and they really wanted to do that in a way that would work, I think that putting Jade and Ashley in a room, just the two of them, maybe with Dr. Drew truly being, there's no audience, there's no other cast members, there's no anything. There's a way to do it without making the girls feel like they're being pinned against each other, and in a way that is truly helpful, not hurtful. Like, and okay, these are the things that you said that bothered me. I'm not a liar. Or these are the things that you did that bothered me. I didn't mean it towards you. It was just a moment of acting out or whatever the case may be. There's a way to do it. And like, maybe they didn't want to do it. Like, you know, they've asked me to put Brianna on the podcast. Like, for me, I just don't want to do it. But there is a way to make it to ask for it to happen instead of literally just pitting them against each other, making them feel like they have to prove themselves.
And also, like, I've played all of this in my head too, and I'm like, okay, there's a way to do this without it having to be so dramatic. And you guys are vets, you know, like, you've been doing this for so long. You guys are teen mom, like, that's a thing. So why, if they wanted the young and pregnant girls to have this exposure and to, you know, like, have some advice from you guys, why wouldn't they do it like sorority style, where you guys go and have like a little sister and each of you take one of them under your wing, and then like y'all do a segment together, instead of having everybody together and it being like this volatile thing? Like, it's just not healthy.
I agree. I 100% agree.
You know, so I should have known, though, that with all of this being said, this is a very heavy teen mom episode. But with all of this being said, I should have known when I boarded my flight and I sat next to a lady who was wearing Lululemon leggings that I have that had the little side pocket to where, like, you can put your cell phone in. I should have known that I was going into a shitstorm when this lady pulls out her cell phone. I noticed immediately that it's just her phone case. She didn't notice this immediately. So when we go to get in the air and we reach 10,000 feet and she goes to connect her Wi-Fi, she realizes the only thing that's in her pocket is her cell phone case.
Oh, shit.
And her phone is not there.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking to myself, did she lose it, like, in security? Like, has this bitch gone from home all the way here and hasn't looked at her phone one time? Like, is she a psychopath? Is she a sociopath? Like, what's going on? Like, who just has their phone case in their Lululemon legging pocket? How did that happen?
So did she just leave without her phone?
Kale, we were 10,000 feet in the air. Like, what was she going to do?
So
parachute out at that point? Like, this is a major emergency. I don't have my cell phone. Open the exit door.
She couldn't even get an Uber when she landed at the airport. She would have to go get a taxi.
I was thinking of all of the things of, like, how she was screwed playing in my mind. Sucks. And I was like, oh, man, like, that really blows. Like, she can't get Uber. She can't, like, call somebody. She's got, like, what if she doesn't know the address to her hotel?
She can't even Google it.
She can't check, like, what carousel her bag's going to be at if she checked a bag on her phone. Like, she can't. There's so many things that she couldn't check.
Well, hopefully she had her actual wallet and didn't use Apple Wallet.
Girl, I'm praying for you. Like, you probably will never hear this, but I sent a prayer to the big man, and I was like, Lord, please help this lady, because she has lost her iPhone. Like, I feel so bad. And then at the beginning of this episode, you had talked about how you were, like, in an on and off again relationship with Starbucks. And
yeah,
I wanted to talk about this because everybody knows that I'm a huge Dunkin' Donuts fan. And the past couple of times I've gone to Dunkin' Donuts, like, I'm turned off. I just haven't been impressed. And it's because they're getting my order wrong. And it's so devastating, honestly.
That happened to me with Dunkin' too. Not that I wasn't a huge fan. I just their coffee was always not strong enough for me.
Right.
And a couple times in a row, they got it like perfect. So I was like, okay, now I could get behind this.
Mm-hmm.
And then they fucked up my order too. So I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And then went to Starbucks and the same thing happened.
And I'm just kind of like, I mean, if I'm paying almost $5 for a coffee, then I expect that my order to be consistent like every time that I pay for it, you know? So I don't know. I feel like that is a lot of money to just pay for a drink, you know? So I don't know.
And I'm not the type of person that's going to send it back and ask for it to be remade.
Me
I don't want to be that person. So, and I'll just end up like either drinking it and whatever, or I'll throw it out and it's like, that was a waste of money.
Right. So I feel so wasteful.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a couple of follow-ups though, before we got off. Okay. For everybody who has sent pictures of their kids' school pictures, I so bad want to repost them on our Instagram story, but I wouldn't.
Wait, you have to send them to me.
I wouldn't.
Because I'm not on social media.
Well, I will send some to you, but I will not post them on our Instagram story because I don't want to like expose like people's kids or whatever, or somebody to like recognize their kids or whatever. But some of them have been so funny, and I'm just like, wow, like it makes me feel normal. Honestly,
I'm gonna post Lux's though. Like once I get it, I'm gonna post it. Like it's gonna be great.
Oh, the one that you sent me is so funny and so true to his personality. I feel like that's why it's funny. You know, like he is just an angry man.
He's not always mad. He was mad after the reunion because I think it was so late, and then it was like I did let him watch the iPhone, which I don't typically do because he'll then like he loves it, but he was so pissed off and tired, and we had to film and we had to get so much done that I was like, okay, here's the iPhone. And then he was like not wanting to mess with people because he was watching like colored trucks or whatever. But yeah, he was pissed.
So cute. And then for everybody who sent in suggestions for charity, I love how invested everybody is and like wanting to help.
I love that.
And just like the different ideas. But I think that we have found one. What's the name of the company, Kale?
It's called Blessings in a Backpack.
So I think that that's the charity that we've decided to go with for this holiday season. And right now we are currently in the process, well, the assistant is currently in the process of figuring out how we can partner with other people who have also sent us messages about wanting, you know, to help. I know that they said that we would have an option to be able to put it on our website so that people can just go online and just electronically give. So I think that's amazing. But we want to have a hands-on experience. And so I don't know if that means that we would be able to do that in our local city that, you know, we are like Atlanta and then Delaware or Philly, or if it would mean that we would have to go to like their headquarters or what it would mean. But we'll keep everybody updated on that.
Yeah. Definitely want to give back in some way, and I would love for our kids to get involved too, just because I don't know if you've had this struggle, but I have had this struggle with my kids. You know, they don't know any different. They don't realize that other kids have so much less than they do. So I really want my kids to be able to understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how they can help. So I would really love to just, yes, do something electronically for those that can't attend, but also have something where we can physically go raise awareness, help kids and other people get, you know, goods. Or I mean, if it doesn't have to be just food, I'm sure they take other things.
Right.
I'm not sure what, but we can find out.
Right. And for anybody who just like wants to participate, we will be posting, like when we get more information, we'll be posting like where you can go online and find the fundraiser to give to it. And hopefully we're going to be able to have a hands-on experience, because I also want Jackson to know that there are children out there that are going without meals. And it's so sad, because I feel like there should not be a reason that kids are going hungry. Like I feel like that in itself is terrible.
Guys, I'm so sorry that my dog has been reckless in the background again. But this is what happens when we're not home for a long period of time. And then I come home and podcast and she lets all of her energy out while I'm podcasting. I was going to say something else and I don't remember what it was. So I guess I'll ignore that thought.
If it went away that quickly, the thought went away that quick, then it probably wasn't even a good thought. You know what I mean?
I hope not. I hope it wasn't important.
Like my grandmother used to tell me, if you thought of it and then you can't remember to tell me, then it wasn't important or it wasn't a good thought. So I've always just kind of been like, oh, wow. Maybe that's why I write off my forgetfulness, that it's like okay, but it's really like not okay. Do you feel like, as you get older, you're more forgetful?
Well, I think like truly, and I know that this is not dramatic, like I truly believe there's something wrong with my memory. Like 100%. Someone I'm friends with moved away, like him, me, and Bone, my friend Bone, used to do jujitsu together. And his name was Jason, and he moved to Washington. But apparently, Bone and I had got him a cake that said, like, we wish you luck, like, goodbye, whatever. And his nickname was Cargo. And it was like, good luck, Cargo, or whatever. And I was like, on Facebook or whatever, and he sent me the picture of the three of us with the cake. And I sent it to Bone, and I was like, I don't remember doing this. Like, had Bone come to me and that picture didn't exist and said, hey, remember when we got that cake for Cargo? I would have been like, no.
You're a liar.
I swear, like I would have called her a liar. There's truly something, like, it's so weird because I remember certain things, but they're horrible. Like a lot of my memories that I have, they're all the bad ones, and I remember nothing good.
I'm hoping
like that was like,
I think that you need to talk to your therapist about this week and then report back to us next week on what your therapist says about that. Because
okay, I have an appointment tomorrow.
Maybe it's like something with trauma that's causing like your brain to like not remember things.
I'm going to write this down. Let me write it down. So like repressed memory maybe?
Yeah, like maybe it's something like that. I mean, I'm not going to diagnose you because I am just dumb, but it's something. And I think that you need to talk to your therapist and then report back to us next week and let us know what she says about it.
I just wrote it down so that I won't forget because, like I said, my memory's fucked up.
And on that note, it's been over an hour.
I remember what I was going to say now.
What? What is it?
I just wanted to remind people that we have a website, coffeeconvospodcast.com.
Oh, on coffeeconvospodcast.com, you can find all of the codes for all of the ads. You can find all of that on there. Probably some old pictures that we haven't updated lately. Hopefully in the coming year, we're going to get our crap together and be able to have merch throughout the year. Not making any promises though. We're in the process of figuring out how we're going to get on tour and what cities we would be going to, because that's definitely something that we want to do in 2020. And we'll keep you guys all updated, but basically just go to coffeeconvospodcast.com and look and see what's on there. I don't even know what's on there. But yeah, it's been an hour and my mattress pad is in the washing machine and I'm going to move it over so that I can wash my sheets. And I hope that you guys have a productive week or have had a productive week. And we love you. We appreciate you. And I don't know what else I was going to say. So
happy Halloween.
Happy Halloweeny. And I hope everybody has a great week. And if you have not subscribed to us, make sure that you do that on the Purple Podcast app for your iPhone. Type in Coffee Convos, click subscribe, click the 5th star, and leave us a written review. Hope you guys have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.
Happy Halloween. See ya.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.